Hey y'all, welcome to episode 1, Introduction to Climate. If you've read the news, used Instagram, or walked outside in the past few months, you've probably heard or seen the word climate thrown around quite a bit. What is climate anyway, and why is it important to us? Keep watching to find out. Sometimes you may hear the words weather and climate used interchangeably, but do they really mean the same thing? To make sure we're on the same page, let's start by defining these two very important words. Both impact our society, but in different ways and at different timescales. Weather, the conditions of the atmosphere at a specific time, determines our day-to-day lives. We decide how to dress and where to go based on whether it'll be raining, snowing, or a sunny day. Unfortunately, even with modern supercomputers, we cannot accurately predict what the weather will be like 3 days from now. On the other hand, climate, the average weather of a certain region, also determines many aspects of our lives. For instance, we choose where we want to live based on whether a place feels like a tropical vacation or a winter wonderland. The cuisine of different regions is also decided by what plants grow in those climates. Unlike weather, climate varies slowly and is highly predictable. Since we are dealing with averages, one unusual weather event, such as a heat wave or a snowstorm, does not represent the climate of a region. Climate consists of how hot or cold, as well as how humid or dry a place is on average. For example, Singapore has a hot and humid climate, while Antarctica is cold and dry. Now that we understand what climate is, let's find out what makes it so important. First, places with similar climate patterns tend to have the same types of plants and animals. We call these regions biomes. Biomes are defined as large, naturally occurring communities of plants and animals occupying a major habitat. Some examples of biomes are rainforest or tundra. The climate of a tropical rainforest biome is warm and wet, whereas a tundra biome is cold and dry. The characteristics of each biome often influence the culture of the people inhabiting them. For instance, equatorial regions are conducive to growing rice, which is why we see rice dominating in South and Southeast Asian cuisines. In more temperate regions where wheat grows well, we see a wheat-dependent diet, with lots of bread and pasta. Climate can also determine the types of houses we live in. If you visit a village in Cambodia, you might find houses on stilts, so the monsoonal rains don't flood their homes, whereas a home in Norway will have steep roofs to let snow slide off in the winter. Another somewhat unfortunate side to different climates is the type of natural disasters we experience. While we often see hurricanes impacting the east coast of the US, we see blizzards in areas further north. Such events are all dependent on climate. These are just a few examples of how climate plays a role in our lives, but it can also impact the clothes we wear, the festivals we celebrate, and the type of economy a region has. As you can see, the climate is deeply ingrained in human life. What would happen if the climate were to change? Well, guess what? It is changing, and the evidence for this is overwhelming. There has been less snowpack in our glaciers, the summers have become hotter and longer, and in some regions, we see longer dry spells. What does all of this mean? In this video series, we will be answering these questions and many more as we learn about the Earth's climate. We will explore a vast range of topics from the greenhouse effect and past climate to its impact on human society. Join us on this journey to learning about our planet and our future. Thanks for watching. See you next video.